What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to yet another live stream. Now, unlike what I usually do today, what I'm doing is just giving you guys a live stream to help you guys out with Black Friday. I know I didn't get a chance to answer everybody's questions this week, so I wanted to give, again, another opportunity for everybody to come on board. Now, I did go ahead and do a poll here, and the 12 o'clock time slot did end up winning. So if you are one of the individuals that have voted for the 12 o'clock time slot, well, there you go. Again, I'm sorry if I can't get to everybody during this live stream. I know there are a lot of people that wanted to come on at 8 o'clock as well. I'm trying to see what I can do as far as different time frames and things like that. But with that being said, if you guys have questions, make sure that you guys ask them now, because we're running out of time here for Black Friday. So I'm going to see what we have going on in the comment section in a second here. I'm just making some last second adjustments, so as I give people more time to come on since we just went live here, I'm going to also try to adjust a couple things on my end. And what's going on, Soresu Gaming? What's going on, man? I'll read your questions here in a second. I'm just trying to make some last... Hopefully I am able to do so, but we will see. Alright. Gotta love the lagging on this. There we go. I think... No, that's not it either. Okay, I've got nothing here. What a shame. Can't make any last second adjustments there. I'll have to wait till the stream's over to be able to do those kinds of things. But either way, let's just dive into the live stream here. I think that has probably been enough time for most people to kind of come on. And so what's going on to everybody here? We've got Soresu Gaming asking, you're saying, hey, what is the best gaming TV of 2019, or the best TV of 2019, gaming TV of 2019, and you're asking for the models. So for gaming, the best TVs of 2019 are going to vary depending on usage. I say that because it's going to be hit or miss for some people. So if you game in a dark room and you like OLED, the best gaming OLED right now is going to be the LG B9. That's going to be the best TV that you could buy for gaming in general as far as OLED is concerned. If you are looking for the best gaming TV period, I would have to do kind of like, I don't know, it's hard because you can argue that the Q90R has its advantages because of the viewing angle. So if that's a priority, then that would be a TV that I would say, yeah, you could look at, but why bother because the price is too high. The Q80R is essentially the same thing, just a little bit lower as far as peak nit range, but it does handle motion better. So I would say B9 for OLED users. The H9F and the Q90R are going to end up tying in my book, because the Q90R has awesome low, or the Q80R rather, has awesome low input lag, but then the H9F does too. But the thing where it kind of becomes a problem is if you're going to use things like variable refresh rate, then that would go towards the B9 and the Q90R as the two best gaming TVs that you should be looking at for just heavy competitive gaming usage. I don't really know of anything much better than that on the market right now. Of course, I have the Q8FN, but those are like really, really rare and hard to find these days. So if you can find a Q8FN over the Q80R, that would be ideal. But ultimately speaking, the Q80R would be the better option as far as, 2019 models. All right, so we have Fotis Zero. What's going on, man? What's going on, Catch? Good afternoon and good morning, afternoon to everybody. I don't know what time zones you guys are all in, but welcome to everybody who is stopping by. What's going on, Adam? You said, I saw someone on Reddit say they bought open box B8 for $870 from Best Buy. Do you think that's possible? I do, because Best Buy will occasionally mark down items even lower when they have things like, missing cables or like a missing remote or something, and somebody's willing to accept that. Then you can get a really good deal when you find things like that missing. I remember back in 2013, I bought like a Sony camera, and I got it for a stupid cheap deal. I'm talking like, it was like either like 250 bucks or like $300, and this was like their mirrorless camera. Like, it wasn't like some cheap garbage throwaway camera, but it was just missing a ton of stuff. But being a professional photographer, I already had all that stuff, so I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't really care if that's what the problem is. And I still have that camera to this day, so you can definitely find some awesome deals if things are missing and you're okay with taking a hit on that. What's going on? M&M, what's happening? You said, hey man, what TV would you suggest for somebody that watches a lot of sports? So for somebody that watches a lot of sports, motion is going to be a priority. So for that, the Hisense H9F is going to be my #1 recommendation, and then followed by the Q80R, because the Q80R is the best you can find as far as motion in 2019. What's going on? Fomoco1, you said, which TV are you planning, or are you playing Injustice on right now? So right now I am playing Injustice on the Sony A8G. What's going on? Mickey Basie, what's up? You said, what's the best 49-inch TV? Thinking about getting the Q70R or X900F. What do you think? I think at the 49-inch bracket, right? Like, those TVs come with a massive, like, trade-off system, right? So you have to be willing to lose something. And either way you go, it's going to be pretty rough, but I think it's hard, man. It's not easy, right? And so I think I would probably lean more towards the direction of Vizio, even though I hate Vizio, because the Q70R is completely ugly. It is a really, really ugly TV. Like, to look at, like, not the greatest TV at all. Like, one of the worst I've seen, especially being quantum dot. The X900F, it has a huge problem with gray black. The overall picture quality is pretty nice. I mean, it's not bad, but the gray black is just too much. It's like Sony really crapped on that TV coming from the 900E, and so you're paying Sony for that, and I can't justify that. And then game mode, because you're on the X1 Extreme chip, isn't anything fantastic or to write home about, and you still only have HDMI ports 2 and 3 that are full bandwidth, which will really, really slow down your usage and things like that overall for all kinds of content. And so I think you're probably better off going with something like Vizio for a 49er, because not only can you get it cheaper, but the local dimming typically works pretty darn good for the most cases in scenario. Now, the Vizio I would recommend is the Vizio P series. Not the Quantum X, not the M series, but the P series specifically, because the P series, it has deep black. I didn't have a real big issue with that outside of like booting it on and some occasional one and twosies kind of thing here, but ultimately the TV did a decent job with black levels, and the colors are acceptable, right? They're adequate. It's not like the most fantastic thing, but it's definitely on par with what's on the market right now. The problem with the Vizio, though, is you will run into occasional audio dropouts if you, I guess, I don't know if it's a defect with their system or maybe handshaking issues, but I've definitely ran into that. And I also ran into a couple other issues as far as motion goes. So it's really difficult, because at 49 inches, those TVs are really not made at a quality kind of level, right? They just don't care. So I find it really hard to find a really good recommendation, so I hope this helps. But as far as the Q70 and the X900F, those two TVs I would recommend you stay away from. Like, unless those TVs drop down so substantially in price that it's like into the $800 price range, I couldn't recommend it or justify it. And I'm talking like $899 for a 65-inch, because those two TVs, I seriously, I cannot say this as passionately and as honestly, or even more honestly than I already am saying it. Those two TVs are really not going to hold you over as technology improves. They will start showing their age within a year. That's how dated they already are with the lack of effort put into those models. And I can't stress that enough. What's going on, Enoch? What's going on, man? You said, hey, do you still recommend Sony Z9F soundbar for $6.99 on Amazon? Absolutely. I actually did a community post. It's one of the best soundbars out there right now. I mean, really, I still have it, love it, swear by it. It's a fantastic soundbar. It's amazing, dude. Like, everything comes alive on this soundbar. So yes, for $699, that is the soundbar to go to. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to John Schultz. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. It really does help us out, and I really do appreciate it. So I did see it when you first did it, but I was answering questions and stuff like that, so I didn't want to like stop and interrupt that. But I do see you, and I do acknowledge that, and I do appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, so we have a question coming in from Andrew Parker. What's going on this afternoon? You said, would you recommend purchasing a 2019 TV or wait till 2020 if possible to see if top brands try to put their best foot forward next year? Honestly speaking, I think the technology industry is at a weird spot where technology is improving, but not enough to justify waiting for next year's models because the implementations of technology still need years to improve. For example, we still don't have an industry standard for HDR, making it impossible to calibrate and get a truly reference accurate image. That being said, I don't see the point in waiting for these next kind of technologies because there's still kind of a new twist on something old, right? LCD TVs will still have blooming next year, and I'm pretty sure that if you go up to 2,000, 3,000, it'll be better. But how much better? I mean, we've already got TVs like the Q8FN that have zero blooming whatsoever. So I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for, I guess. So ideally, if you can wait till 2020 and you're looking for cutting edge technology, then yeah, sure. I mean, wait if you can. But honestly, I don't think it's necessary. I think there are some pretty decent heavy hitters, not just from 2019, but in other years prior that you can find on sites like Amazon, sold through third parties of a decent reputation. Such third parties are Waltz TV, Beach Camera, Video Audio Center. Those are usually the better ones. I know there's one other one that I'm forgetting right now. If I've forgotten it, just run it by me. But those are typically pretty good places to find older TVs from. And you can find things like the Q9FN, Q8FN, Q7FN, a bunch of OLEDs like the B8 on crazy low prices. I mean, seriously. And for those wondering, the new OLEDs this year have less vivid picture quality than the OLEDs from last year on LG side of things, in case anybody was wondering. I've noticed this especially prominent with going from the B8 to the B9. There is a significant dip down in color vibrancy. Now, I don't know if they think that by drawing back the color it's more accurate or whatever the case may be, but there are definitely some trade-offs to be had there. What's going on to Sores? I keep messing your name up. Sorsu Gaming, what's up? You said, was looking at the LG C9 but scared of burn-in. C90 has blooming in game mode. I guess you meant C9. Or C90, I guess, is something different. I don't know what the C90 is. I've actually not heard of that model. What is the C90? As far as burn-in, it definitely is a risk, right? I've had the Sony A8G now for a little over 2 weeks, I believe, and it's not gonna be 100% burn-in free forever, right? Eventually some things can trip a TV up that is prone to burn-in. That's just how these things work. But you have to take the risk, I guess, in this current market with the way things are going, if you want that level of picture quality. And honestly, though, to be very real with you, I think the C9, it's gonna probably be somewhat more durable than going at the absolute entry level like the B series. Those TVs, I know for a fact, are the most prone to burn-in I've ever seen as far as the OLED market. So, going at the C9, or rather LG's C series or better, will kind of protect you a little bit more. Now, once you step up into their E class or higher, you're generally pretty darn good, as far as burning goes, because those things are pretty dang durable. But everything below that, it does have its, its quirks about it. I know, when you're at the C series, right, you're more prone to image retention, right? That's the big thing you'll notice, but burn-in not so much. When you go to the B series, you not only are you more prone to burn-in, but also image retention is a lot more prevalent on those models as well, and it just improves as you go up the line. So that's kind of why they charge more up through the tier. Now, I know you're going to read from places that it's all the same and it's no big deal. That's misinformation. They are charging you more for the more premium OLED grade materials. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise, because they don't know what they're talking about. That being said, it is still a risk, and you do have to be careful. Anyone involved in OLED does have to be careful, because it is a risk. That being said, what's going on, Julian? Thanks for being a VIP member of the community. I appreciate it. You said, what's up? Enjoy your holiday, man. And I appreciate that. You as well. And again, I thank you for supporting the channel and all that I do here. I really do want to say thank you, man. And happy holidays to you and your family. What's going on, Blackfish? What's going on, Q? Looking for 43-inch for my bedroom. That's going to kind of limit your choices all the way down to the Vizio M series. That is the best 43-inch you could probably find. You're not going to find too much better than that on the current market because everything else will be pretty bad at that size, sadly. What's going on, Steve Smith? You said, hey, Q, what's up, buddy? Nothing much, just doing a live stream for the community here. You said, hope you and the family have an awesome Thanksgiving, my brother. I don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving, but I do appreciate the support. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your holidays as well. And I wish you all well, man. What's going on, Amber? You said, hey, Quantum, hope you're feeling well. I'm actually feeling quite good today. Pretty good. You said, is it impossible? It's impossible to get the Q8FN or Hisense here in Denmark. So I'll be getting the Q70 49-inch for 1100 USD. Oh, that's a bit much for a 49er. I would try to keep looking around because I can tell you right now in the US, the Q7FN is retailing for 1100, and that's a 65-incher, not a 49er. So you're definitely getting hosed down for Q70R for sure. That is missing some features from last year's Q7FN, such as your HDR Plus feature, and again, just general things that it doesn't have that it should, like a sports mode. I think you might want to look around for that. Better pricing for something else, or just wait for the price to fall, because that sounds pretty high for a 49-incher. What's going on, Mr. Fudgy Brown? What's going on, man? You said perfect timing. Just saw the 75-inch Vizio P-Series Quantum X. It is at $15.99. Is it worth it? Looking for something 70+ inches for a bright room, normal TV and sports. 75 inches, $15.99. I think that's a good deal. At that price for 75-incher, I'd say that's acceptable. Just notice that there will be some sort of, I guess, trade-off because the price is set so low for 75 inches. Motion on the Quantum X, not the greatest. Brightness is not what they advertised. And you do have some problems where you, again, could run into what I did, where you have HDMI dropouts and blooming issues in some scenes, even though you have like 300-something zones of local dimming or whatever it is. I mean, it's on paper, they're advertising the sun and the moon, but you're not getting everything in the galaxy, and that's something to think about. What's going on, Hugh? You said best TV for streaming movies, medium to dark room. Hope you're feeling well. I'm definitely feeling better. Thank you for that. Best TV for streaming is going to be tough because TVs in general have really cheap like Wi-Fi chips, and they don't, across the board, as far as what I've seen in 2019, do a good job as far as keeping the load times down for app transitions, and the buffering can get really sluggish from time to time. Especially if you're using YouTube and things like that. Netflix buffering, I've noticed a lot. You'll notice sometimes it'll randomly just drop out your quality of video fidelity, and that's across the board from like the X950G to the Q90R, all the way to the H9F and anything in between. Like, generally speaking, they're not really doing a good job. I think if you're streaming, instead of using a TV for that, using a source box would be better because they usually have that kind of stuff nailed down. So things like an Xbox or a really solid Blu-ray player, not a Sony Blu-ray player. They are the worst on the market that I've found for streaming, but things of that nature will be better. I hope that helped you out. I know it might be a little bit of a disappointing answer, but it is an honest answer. What's going on, Derek? You said got a 55-inch H9F for $599. 2 days later, it's $549. I know exactly how you're feeling, my dude, but honestly, you didn't get like gypped or ripped off or anything. I mean, it's a $50 difference. It sucks, yes, but it's not that bad, right? What I ended up missing out on, I ended up getting a new monitor for my wife here, right? And that thing ended up going on sale an extra like $150. So I basically got ripped off for $150, and that was literally the next day that I bought it. So yeah, it gets worse. You could be me. So not saying it doesn't suck, but the H9F is an awesome TV, as I'm sure you probably have already realized by now, and you didn't make out too poorly at all. What's going on in M&M? You said, I watch cable sports. I see the A8G looks amazing with upscaling ability. Thoughts on that TV for sports? Honestly speaking, I don't watch sports at all, but I would imagine it would do pretty poorly for sports, particularly things like football, tennis, because it has serious motion artifacting issues. It probably has one of the most ugly motion artifacts that you could buy on the market right now. I say one of the most because Vizio and TCL still lead in that category of being the absolute worst, but it is definitely pretty bad with motion artifacts. What's going on, Richie Rich? You said, imagine you're recommending Vizio TVs. I wouldn't get in the habit of recommending Vizio TVs, but I mean, that's the current status of the market. I mean, in some tiers, you don't really have much of a choice, you know? What's going on, Richard Romero? You said, I pulled the trigger on a 55-inch, or on the 55-inch H9F. I do love it, and I think I won the lottery. I would love to see a video on adjusting video settings. My last TV was the TCL P Series 2017, so I'm loving this TV. All the picture settings that I do have, they are exclusive to members, so next to the subscribe button on the home page of the channel, whether using PC or the mobile app, if you hit join, then you can be able to gain access to that for $4.99 a month, $4.99. And then not only those picture settings, but everything I do in all the years prior, but also everything going forward will be accessible, along with a bunch of different exclusive things. So that's where I do have that stuff live and posted. We've got Richie Rich. You said, you're a joke. Well, thank you for telling me I'm a joke. I didn't realize that I had 20,000 subscribers that believed in me because I was a joke, but thank you for reminding me of that. Gives me motivation to keep telling the truth and pissing more guys like you off. Moving on to the next comment here, we've got Cole. What's happening, man? You said, what is the best Blu-ray upscaler between PS4 Pro and Xbox One X? What is the best Blu-ray upscaler? I don't understand. Like, what is the difference between the upscaling? I'm not sure. You'd probably have to re-specify that because I'm not sure on the question. What's going on, Fotis Zero? What's happening, man? You said, I think gamers should wait till for 2020 because it's next gen console year. TV makers will go all out and include features to support them, especially Sony. That's my guess anyway. Yeah, I think there'll definitely be like a little push for, you know, some companies to create synergy. We know Samsung is partnered with Xbox, so we should expect to see something happen with that partnership, especially with xCloud and Game Pass and streaming. They'd be stupid not to include, you know, Samsung TV with the Xbox app. That's my prediction anyway. Whether it pans out or not, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely can see that happening. And we have LG with NVIDIA with G-Sync, so that's kind of like a calling to all PC gamers. So you definitely have your little partnerships forming that kind of will dictate next year. What's going on? Heng Long, what's happening, man? You said A8G price is still the same for a few weeks now. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of expected for high-end TVs not to really drop down much in price. It hit $19.99, and I think that's about as low as it will end up going until it's being cleared out for clearance. What's going on, Roger? You said PS5 doesn't have Blu-ray, dude. I don't know. I'd have to wait for official specs. I don't know much. Fomico1, you said, what do you honestly think about the Samsung Q900R? I think it is a dumb idea, a bad TV to get in 2019, and honestly a manipulation of the consumer market. Why? Because 8K is not ready yet. We have no content for it, no Blu-ray players that support 8K physical media. I mean, the list goes on and on. It is literally Samsung jumping ahead of the curve like all the other 8K manufacturers, trying to capitalize on a buzzword that they know people are semi-excited for, you know, and trying to make it sound like it's the next level. It's dishonest, disingenuous, and if you buy it, you're gonna have to buy the next 8K when they actually standardize things like HDR. Keep in mind, as I've said numerous times, HDR still does not have an industry standard, and it launched in like 2015. This is a huge problem at this point, and people are just going along with like HDR is the best. Things look so much better in HDR than in SDR. And I'm telling you right now, that's not going to change. They're still going to have standardless HDR on your top of the line 8K TV, and that doesn't really feel top of the line, you know what I mean? So yeah, honestly thinking, I think you should probably pass on that and wait till they get their act together with 8K. Hell, we got to get 4K together first. I mean, not everybody, I mean, people are still buying 4K TVs this year. And so everybody buying a TV and requesting help and info on TVs in the stream right now, like all 68 people, are we to believe that they're going to throw away their 4K TVs that they newly purchased? Of course not. So I don't see 8K having a future right now, if that makes sense. What's going on, Crash? Caesar, what's going on? You said Costco only has the Q70R, and it's hard to pass up the 7-year warranty with the credit card. Do you think I should get the Q80 at Best Buy with no extended warranty? Yes. QLEDs don't really suffer from any major issues typically in my experience, and I've seen quite a lot of them. And honestly speaking, the Q70R is a giant letdown. So just being as honest as I can be with that, you are much better off with the Q80R. Pika Beats, what's going on, man? You said you still think the Q8FN is the best TV, bro? I think it's definitely one of the best LED TVs ever made. Most definitely. It hits a lot of the boxes, man. Don't update the thing if you get it, but essentially it's fantastic. I can't say enough about it. Yeah, I think it's one of the greatest. T-Bone, what's going on? You said the Truth Channel, sup? What's going on, man? We've got DJ Storm, what's going on? DJ Storms, what's going on? You said, hello, stuck between the 55-inch 950G or the Q80, absolutely no gaming, bedroom TV, mainly cable 1080p, along with Netflix, Disney Plus, light controlled, but still have a huge window in the room. Okay, so if you're stuck between the 950G and the Q80R, it's going to come down to these variables. One, the Q80R is going to have better reflection handling, so if you need some kind of protection from that huge window in your room, that's going to play a huge factor. Also, if you are using dynamic angles in your seating arrangement in your bedroom, that will play a factor favoring the Q80R. Now, when we talk about cable TV runs at, as you know, 1080p, which is not necessarily a low resolution, but it is not 4K either. Sony's X950G will upscale that to make it look like freaking almost 8K. Like, I'm not even joking. The X1 Extreme chip is like king with upscaling. Problem being, though, is, again, the black levels are gray on the X950G, but the overall picture quality is far more immersive. You get this 3D pop out of the image on the 950G. I mean, like, you can adjust colors with a new color space management system, unlike the Samsung where you don't even have that option. So there are a lot of different factors that play a role, but ultimately I would give a slight edge for your situation to the Q80R because you still have a huge window in the room, and the Sony X950G does not handle reflections well at all. Hopefully that helped you out, but if you need more help, you know I'm here for you, man. We've got DJ Storms. You said price is not a concern. I love the two. I love vivid image, though. Yeah, I think it just depends. Big shout out to Troy and all my other moderators here, keeping the trolls out of the community. I appreciate that. I see a lot of you guys are deleting hateful comments from Richie Rich, so thank you all for keeping our conversation productive and moving it forward in a positive way. What's going on, Fish Boy? You said hello. How's it going? Bat Gamer Man Show, what's going on? You said, hey Quantum, what's a good TV under $500? A good TV under $500, you probably would have to start looking at things like the Vizio or the Hisense H8F. The Vizio M series to be specific. So those two TVs would be good TVs under $500. Have a good day as well, Fish Boy. Thank you for stopping by, I guess. We've got Radic... how do you say this? Radiax, I guess? I don't know. I hope I pronounced your name right. Yeah, what's going on? You said, hey, Quantum. Really appreciate your honest opinion. Thank you. You said, have a quick question. A8F versus the A8G, as the price difference in Malaysia here is $800 less for the A8F for the 65-inch. Is it worth the gamble? I would say still buy the A8G because the A8F has a dimming problem. Not only is SDR significantly dimmer than the HDR, but you also have a problem where when you're in HDR, you have another dimming problem that happens from time to time. So some users have had it, in my experience, and other users completely are fine. So it's like a real big gamble on that particular model. I feel like that's the model that didn't have its act together, and the A8G is more of like the 2.0 version that kind of figured all of its growing pains out. So I would say go for the A8G because it is a better TV overall. Even though, yes, it's $800 more, and that is definitely steep, you are also getting some newer features as well, like the IMAX Enhance if you're into that kind of thing. So food for thought there, but the picture quality is just really, really good. What's going on? Mari CD, I hope I said that right. Sorry if I didn't. Which TV would you recommend after the Q8FN and H9F? Is the Q9FN worth it after those? After that, I would say the Q9FN is definitely worth a gander. I would say, yeah, it's a good TV, especially at its current price of $14.99. That ain't bad at all, right? My only problem is they went a little too heavy as far as Black Crush, so it's kind of difficult to get that shadow detail back. And colors, I can't stress how muted colors are. There's almost no in between with the TV. It's either super oversaturated and very, very unrealistic with no way to color correct it, or you have like a really washed look that kind of like everything looks dead all the time, missing that extra realism that you look for out of a high-end display. So it becomes very difficult, because then there are also moments where colors are isolated and separated properly and you see a high-end display. So I feel like maybe after the Q80R and Q90R lose its initial value proposition and the Q9FN can no longer be purchased from any retailer, I feel like Samsung will end up doing what they did with the KS8000 from 2016, where after they ruin it with patches, after it kind of is discontinued, then they'll give you a patch to support your product and kind of fix what they destroyed. But I feel like to wait for that is kind of a pain in the butt, because it's like, I don't really know. It seems like a really bad deal. As far as TVs I would recommend after those TVs, not really a whole lot in 2019. I would say the Q90R would definitely come right after the H9F, because it does have the next best proposition value. Then maybe something like the X950G, if you're okay with taking a hit on those black levels, a massive emphasis on that. But essentially, it's a really bad year all around. What's going on? Radicats. I hope I said Radicats? I hope I'm saying this right. The other opinion is the 65-inch B9, which is also the same price as the 65-inch A8F. I would say if you're stuck between the A8F and the B9 makes more sense every day of the week. Not only is it brighter, but its HDR is better, and it also experiences far less artifacting than the Sony A8F, giving you really, really beautiful motion, but it's not perfect either, because it still can be jittery and choppy. With no way to synchronize with 24p sources like Sony can do, you are at a bit of a disadvantage as far as movie watching goes. But in general, motion is a bit smoother on LG than Sony, and the A8G even is no exception in my opinion. Now, the B9 isn't perfect, as you know. It is more prone to burn-in, but again, if you have a warranty and you're like really being careful with your usage, you should be fine, hopefully. What's going on, Fishboy? And we've got Amber, what's happening? You said looking almost every day for a month, bro, and it's difficult to find the right TV. Prices and DK are higher than the US too, so you know. And you said, what TV can you recommend for a dark room, 49-inch gaming and movies? If you can, just detail a little bit more of the options that you have so I can help you out, because I don't really know what they have there. Q Hut, what's going on? You said, when is the G7 Panasonic coming? Likely never in a million years, as Panasonic is refusing to sell to the United States. Shade 0045, what's going on? You said, hi Quantum, what are your thoughts on the Hisense ULED XD coming out next year? I think it's new technology, I think it's fantastic, but it also has room to be a total disappointment as well. That being said, I really feel like if anybody can make the best TV I've ever seen, I truly believe it's Hisense, because they have the best color management system I've ever seen. And I really think if they can pull it off and really make this ULED XD technology worthwhile, I truly think that those are going to be the TVs that kind of give the main brands, right, the Sony, Samsung, and LGs, a run for their money and make them actually show up to the competition and try harder. I really do think that this budget brand can do it, but I also think that they can disappoint you massively as well. So we'll see how that goes. Pyro 1997, what's going on, man? You said, hey Quantum, I am looking for a TV that's around 65 or 77 inches for multimedia gaming room. I am deciding to get either the Samsung Q80R or the LG C9. Any recommendations? Well, I'll say between those two TVs, it comes down to a couple different choices. So we know that the LG C9 is obviously an OLED and it has its benefits there, but just keep in mind that it also doesn't have as vibrant of color as something like the Q80R in a lot of situations. So you have to decide like between like pop and awe of like the extra brightness of the Q80R, or do you want like the extra refinements of black levels with the trade-off that colors can be diluted due to WRGB technology. Again, white just being a problem anytime you're introducing it in color. So I don't know, it really is a hard thing, but if it was me and I had to choose personally and it was like a multimedia gaming room and it was like the C9 or the Q80R, and we're talking like this is my only TV that I had, I would go with the Q80R because you get the viewing angles, you get the brightness, you get the color. I mean, you kind of have most of the benefits of OLED while it's not self-emissive. Samsung's local dimming algorithm, in my personal belief, is the best because when you run into logos, it dims that stuff down and says, we don't really care if your logos are bright or not. And so you don't really run into any issues as far as blooming for the most part. So it's really quite nice. So I think it really just depends on you as a viewer. But that there. What's going on, Horns? You said, what kind of lights do you use to illuminate the back of your television and where can I get some? I don't get that information out due to the growing number of copycat channels. I seriously would find nothing more frustrating than somebody mimicking my style of video. So I don't give that information out, sadly. I can say I got it off of Amazon, and you can find some awesome backlighting systems on Amazon, and that's kind of where I leave that one, unfortunately. What's going on? Eminem, you said Q80R or X950G, sports and movies. I would say for sports and movies, again, it goes back to if you are okay with the gray black, the X950G is better for upscaling things like lower resolution found on cable TV, so sports probably included in that. And movies also do see a load more depth than the Q80R. With their new processing chip and tone mapping and all that, is just a dream, but the gray blacks are something you're going to have to decide on. Also, when it comes down to it, the X950G is brighter, but again at the expense of the gray black, so it does depend. But the Q80R is more vivid, so you have more of an argument there for that particular product. What's going on, Cole? You said between the Xbox One and PS4 Pro, who upscales the standard a standard Blu-ray to 4K better? Got it. Okay, so it's honestly, when you're talking about who upscales a standard Blu-ray to 4K better, they're about the same in my experience. I haven't looked at either one and said, wow, you know, that's a real big difference. So I would call it at about a tie with the technology that they're using. I mean, I noticed that Xbox has a bit more contrast and color to it in some movies, so maybe there's an argument to be made for that. But in general usage, most people won't notice, and I think it's about the same, slight edge towards the Xbox One X though. What's going on, Pantis? You said Q90 fanboy here, 55 or 65? For the Q90, I'd say go 65 because you'll get more zones of local dimming, so that's just kind of what I would recommend there. I didn't even know if they make the Q90R in a 55-inch at all, at least here in the States. I know European countries are different, though. Young... Oh, boy, I'm going to mess this up. Young J... I'm not going to try it. I tried. What's going on, Young? What's up, man? You said, with your help, I just purchased the H9F. Thanks for the reviews and keep on with the videos. Giggity. Well, I appreciate the joke at the end, and I most certainly will definitely keep up with the work, and I appreciate the fact that you trusted me to help you out with your TV purchasing needs. What's going on, Chintu Pat? What's going on, Hugh? You said Q8FN or Q80R, Q8FN all day, every day. You have better colors, more features, more contrast, deeper black levels. I mean, it is all around the better TV to buy. Even with the new viewing angle benefits and gaming features, that is still the TV to get. What's going on, Philsbury27? What's good, young man? Man is a man. I don't really know what the age has to do with anything, but okay. You said, do you think the Samsung Electronics 4K LED TV 2017 55-inch, what is it, the NU69, I don't really know the 6900 that well. But I do know the H9F will definitely be better than a Samsung 6 Series television all day, every day. And that's just because it has not only the specifications behind it, but just the tech behind it as well. So I think that would be the TV to go for. Either way you go, that's the TV over the 6 Series Samsung. October Nightmare, you said, I have a Sony X900F and I love it. Quick question though, how high should I have the smooth gradation on from movies on Amazon Prime? To be very honest with you, typically I keep smooth gradation on high. That basically ensures that you have zero kind of banding whatsoever. And honestly, because you have a Sony X900F, you do have the ability to go into your reality creation if you notice things looking a little softer than you would like, and be able to turn up the details, because what the resolution slider does is just sharpen out fine details. And so you're able to kind of get around that and kind of cheat the system a little bit and just get just this awesome picture. So honestly speaking, I would use it on high. If not, try medium. I know some people turn it to low and off, but I've noticed that banding starts creeping back in even at medium, and I don't like any banding. So that'd be my recommendation, especially over like streamed content like Netflix, Amazon, things of that nature. What's going on, Crash? You said normal is good. We've got, or medium, should I say? Medium is good. I've noticed you can get away with medium, though I have run into some situations where the gradational palette, as I go into, like, you know, really intense sunsets and like fantasy films, as it goes from like a deep blue to like this really crazy like fuchsia pink or something like that, there is a little bit of banding that can be seen. I've even noticed on games like Forza, what was it? It was like Forza Motorsport 7, I think. On some tracks and arenas, as like the sun starts changing and the weather starts changing, you can see some banding, and it's just really off-putting, I guess. So that's why I say hi. Derek, what's going on? You said in episode 725, your most recent settings for the H9F, if not, are they the most recent, I guess? And you were saying, if not, which video has the best settings? To be honest with you, off the top of my head, I don't remember. I know it's in this TV settings playlist, but I couldn't tell you exactly what's the most recent settings for the H9F, because I don't remember off the top. What's going on, Bat Gamer Man Show? What's up? You said, what about upscaling on the Q8FN, Q9FN versus Sony? I would say Sony still takes the cake. Their upscaling is better, like much better. Though I will say Samsung does a better job typically with smoothing out noise as far as old content. Like, you can kind of eliminate film grain to a pretty decent degree. I know that some people who have updated their Q8 and Q9FN though have run into situations where it gets weaker and weaker, and you don't really experience the best, right? And that's kind of the negative part of this whole thing. Pyro 1997, you said, when will you test Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the A8G? You said, I wonder how motion will look on that set. I can test it, I don't know. I can try to fit it in today if I can. I don't know. I'll try to put it up on the second channel here so you got access to it. Honestly, I don't remember these kinds of things, so you're gonna have to stay on top of me a little bit, because I do got like a million and one things at this time of year going on. But I will try to do it today. Do not quote me on that, but I'll try to do it today. What's going on, Skyhawk? You said, hey brother, glad I made the group chat. Thank you for stopping by, man. You said, do you feel like most games look better in 4K rather than HDR? I feel like in 4K, the picture looks more vibrant and the HDR looks dull. However, better detail. Yeah, I find 4K resolution, not a problem at all. But once you get to HDR, that's where the problem steps in. they use all these kinds of weird techniques from various different lighting adjustments, gamma curves, and honestly, depending on the studio, it could be really good or really bad. And in most cases, it usually does the following thing. Like, you wash out your color, you get the detail back, they hone in on like bright objects to try to tone map that stuff correctly, but ultimately speaking, you lose a lot as far as black levels because they try to open up shadow details way too much, and it just looks like you adjusted gamma way too high. So what I usually do is I lower gamma, depending on what kind of source it is, because sometimes it looks really bad. But yeah, overall, it is better to have 4K resolution over HDR, at least current HDR, current standardless HDR, because if they standardize it and figure it out, then obviously there's total room for growth there. What's going on? Nathan Nixon, you said, would you recommend the Vizio M series for $400? Also, how are you enjoying Injustice 2? I would say absolutely. The Vizio M series for $480, that's not a bad deal. I am enjoying Injustice 2 100%. I love this game. I think it's fun. I could do without the politics in my video game, as you know. But overall, it is one of my favorite games. I can't lie. I love adjusting, and I'm like a person that likes power, right? Like, I love customizing freely, and this game gives me that as far as my gear and changing out the pieces. So yes, I am enjoying this. And the Vizio M series, while not the perfect TV, will definitely be better than pretty much, I think I could safely say, almost any $480 TV that you can find. So you would definitely enjoy playing Injustice 2 on that. Horns, what's going on? You said, what light do you use to illuminate the back of your TV? I'm pretty sure I answered this one, but I'll say it again. The backlight that I use, I don't give that information out just because I want to protect the channel from copyrighted, or not copyrighted, that's funny, I'm so used to copyright stuff these days. I want to protect it from copycat channels. There are a lot of growing YouTubers that are taking interest in the AV space, and they are copying my style, and I'm not going to give willingly what I use, my gear, all that stuff out to, again, everybody on a video that's accessible to anyone. I could probably tell you privately, but publicly, there's no way I would give that out. What's going on, David? You said, hey, Quantum, would you recommend a 65-inch, 3-meter viewing distance? I actually don't know meters. If you've got feet, I'm good, but I don't really know meters. You said mainly 1080p cable, Blu-rays, and thinking of getting the Panasonic GZ1. I have no experience with the GZ1 either, and I think the Panasonic would be good. I've heard good things about it from a lot of people. I heard it's like second, if not equal to Sony. So in that regard, then yeah, but I don't get Panasonic in the US, and I would say like a 65-inch at like 6 to 8 feet, that'd be pretty darn good. Because currently, right now, I have a 65-inch, and I'm sitting well into 25 feet away from my TV right now. So I think you're more than good, man. Nyan, what's going on? You said, how good is the Q80R against the X950G? How good is it? I am not too sure on how good it is. I would say that they're both full of problems, and it's about what you're willing to trade off. But to say one's just blanketly like this is definitively better than the other, that'd be really difficult to do. What's going on, Crash? You said color calibration tools are expensive. I really want to get get my X930E calibrated. I've got a lot of like really awesome settings for the X930. I did some really good work on that. If you wanted that information, I could definitely give you that information. Obviously once you become a member and stuff like that. But that stuff is there most definitely, and I've got like really good results. I pretty much remember it like quite fondly actually. So there is that information as well. We've got Dennis, what's going on? You said, hey man, hope you're doing well today. Can you recommend a 49 to 50 inch TV? Greatly appreciate it. I would say for a 49, we're kind of stuck at the Vizio P Series Quantum because they're kind of the only ones that kind of tried it, that price range and that size, 49 to 50. So that's kind of where we go there. Now, if you had room for a 55er, the H9F would be the ideal size, or the ideal choice. AP the Shooter, what's going on? You said 65-inch M-Series Vizio or 65-inch H9F. You said can't choose between the two. I would say the H9F. It's the better TV definitively. Soul Reborn 44. What is the most color or accurate color range starting from 25? I'm sorry, are you talking about a Samsung TV? Because I know they have like different color values starting from 25. So just let me know what TV you're pertaining to, or this pertains to. Crash, what's going on? You said, oh yeah, I got that one. We've got Horns. You said, sorry, didn't mean to ask my question twice. Apologies, no worries. We've got Snap Doctor, HDR performance on Samsung Q80R. Q80R is going to be the best for HDR out of all of those TVs that you had, man. The Sony TVs will perform the worst. Their HDR is very washed and pretty void of any real color. Some people call it natural. I call it really outdated. And that's just due to the fact that, again, TVs are going to get more vibrant color, more of our color space that the human perception is built around. So I think as time goes on, you'll see that. But the Q80R is better for HDR than those other TVs. We've got... another question coming in. Hey Q, my brother, or hey Q, my bro, I have an old TV, looking to buy a new one this weekend. What do you suggest for $500 besides the H9F 55-inch? Vizio P series would probably be the best, with understanding that there are some downsides to it. But essentially 55 is a really hard size, under $500 for sure, to find a really solid one. Cole, no problem. Glad I could help out. Amber, you said, okay, my options are 49-inch Q6FN, Q60R, Q70, RU, a couple RUs, and out of all of these options, I think the best one on the list would have to be the Sony X900F. Actually, I would say it would be a tie between the X900F and the Q6FN. Slight lean towards the Q6FN for colors, vibrancy, that kind of thing, HDR performance. The 900F for color accuracy, upscaling, and I would say even maybe motion. But essentially the Q70R is total garbage. It's really a bad TV. So is the Q60R. No local dimming on the Q60R. The RU series TVs are all edge-lit with no full array local dimming capabilities, so by default I wouldn't recommend anything without quantum dots. The X900F, not perfect, but I would recommend it. The X900G, I don't know anything about it. I didn't even know they launched that model. So I don't know if it's like exclusive to where you are, but I haven't heard much on that at all. Hope that helps. We've got M&M. You said, what's the biggest difference between the A8G and A9G? Is it worth the higher price tag? Yes, it is worth the higher price tag in the sense that you get a better remote and it can hook up through extra speakers and things like that. You can use the TV as a center channel, but if you're not using it for that, then it's not really worth it, because the picture quality is pretty much the exact same for the most part, with a slight edge towards the A8G with extra features and picture modes able to give you the edge. And honestly, for me, I bought the A8G because I don't use all the trendy features and I have a sound bar, so the sound system benefit is not really one for me. And yes, all of the HDMI ports are full bandwidth, which is great for the AAG. That's another benefit that may make it worth it for you. But for me, I really could care less if I had, all the ports. I only have 2 devices, or really even 1 device at a time, that I would use for HDR. So I could just switch my HDMI ports. It's not that big a deal to me, but some people that mount this on a wall or like resets it in a cabinet or something, it may be a big issue. Have you tried Mortal Kombat 11? Yes, I have. Mortal Kombat 11, just played that Sindel DLC. Oh my god, I am living over here, my friend. That was the greatest. Sindel is like the most overpowered beast character. Yes, I have played it. I've been having a ball playing it. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take like a quick breather here. I'll probably reconvene, what do we say, at like 1:30. I'm going to leave it going so you guys can ask your questions and I can jump. I got to take a quick lunch break here because I haven't even had breakfast this morning. I literally just jumped up and just started doing all this stuff, and I haven't even eaten a single thing today. So I don't fall out on the chat, I'm going to go ahead and take like a quick, what do you say, like maybe I'll take like 15, 30 minutes, I don't know. The goal is to try to be back as quick as possible, but I'm going to aim for 1:30, but I may very possibly come back on before then. again, feel free to keep answering or asking your questions, because when I dive back in, I'm just going to pick up where I left off. So I hope you guys can understand. Human being, got to take a quick breather here to eat. And for everybody watching this after the fact, just fast forward to the part where I come back on, because again, just taking a little tiny breather here just to grab some grub. All right, guys, so I'll be back shortly.
Red's not really your color.
I'll incinerate your corpse.
And maybe try a turtleneck.
Begin.
Sharpen her claws. Ready to get up close and personal?
Not much of a cat person.
We're not making friends, Len.
Begin.
Cool is my specialty.
Scurry away, little mouse. I feel so much yummier now.
wasted enough time in prison.
Catwoman wins.
How much is that helmet worth?
This helm is priceless.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Begin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm finally back. Not too bad. I didn't even really take much of a little quick break there. But we're filled up and ready to go, so let's dive into it by answering the last question that I got from, let's see here, I'm trying to remember where I was. Go down to...
Days I love my job.
It's quite a ways down, actually. M&M, what is your favorite TV of all time? Favorite TV of all time have to be... it's a hard one, actually. Either way, I'd still give it to the Hisense H9F. I think that's about my favorite TV because it just does everything right. And that's not even like fluff. Like, I mean, really, like the fact that they had like that flesh tone manager really blew my mind in the color space management system. And then you could also calibrate gamma independently from the grayscale calibration. It was just like a calibrator's dream, that entire TV and the way that like it worked. So I'd say that's about my favorite TV there is right now, out of all of them. So yeah, that's about it. What's going on, Goat City? What do you? I'm sorry, you said. Do you have any experience using upscaling / multi-viewer boxes to upscale content as opposed to relying on internal TV chips? I mean, I just use like source boxes like Xbox and like other various little source boxes, but nothing like dedicated for the sole purpose of upscaling specifically. I don't see a point when technology has evolved to the point where we have it. You know what I mean? What's going on, October Nightmare? You said, thank you so much, Quantum. I appreciate it, man. No problem. Glad I can help you. We've got Mamula. What's up? You said, never seen you cover LG NanoCell TVs. They offer huge sizes, so much lower than other TVs. I would like an 86-inch TV or greater under $2,500. Any recommendations? I do cover NanoCell TVs, but I do it in a way like where I just kind of give you the buyer's guide information, and if you want it, it's there. Essentially, NanoCell TVs are the worst LED TVs on the market, my friend. If you are looking to buy, I would highly recommend you don't buy theirs. The black levels, like, literally are so bad. You have the grays and the clouding and the flashlighting bleeding into normal content in a bright room. Like, it is trash. That being said, I think as far as a recommendation for 86 inches, wait till next year if you're serious about it, because you're going to need 8K resolution. Whether there's 8K content or not, the TVs will still attempt to upscale to 8K, which is still better than a TV just attempting to upscale to 4K. And I think for you, for your needs, if you're serious about 86 inches, that's the way to go. Because right now, 4K being blown up to 86 inches is just ridiculous. It's unnecessary. Why? Because it's an 8 megapixel image. Would you take an 8 megapixel picture from your camera, put it on your TV, and try to blow it up excess of 86 inches, and then try to watch that and think there is no depreciation of video quality or image quality? Probably not. And that's what's happening with the TV world. Not a lot of people are really being told this when they buy these TVs, that you may see a big decrease in resolution, and instead are being sold the sun and the moon. And again, I'm just not about it. So that'd be my top recommendation. Just try to wait till next year, or just flat out go smaller because of the tighter pixel density. What's going on, Joel John? What's up? You said price is roughly the same. I imagine you're referencing something earlier there. You're gonna have to go a little bit more in detail, because I don't really know what you're saying here, man. What's the biggest difference between the A8G and A9G? Is it worth the higher price tag? I think I answered that already. But yeah, the biggest difference is going to be A9G has the premium remote, a few extra features like, you know, being able to be used with a sound system as a center channel, a color space management system, where you can adjust individual colors, which I must specify here. When I say color space management system, I'm talking about the ability to go in and adjust like actual colors. Like you can go into red, for example, adjust the luminance, adjust the saturation level, adjust the hue to the color. And I love that way of doing things, because it is the best way to go about color management, where all the other ones just have like a red, green, and blue, and it's up to you to try to mix those colors together to try to make something work, like what Samsung does. I absolutely hate that, and I think it's stupid. Just give us what we need. Because sometimes you know the problem with your image. Like for me, for example, when I'm looking at something like a Hisense H9F, I can almost guarantee about every single Hisense H9F will probably have red way too overly luminous, and you'll have to lower the luminance of that. And I think that's kind of cool, because that's the way it should be. And that's what happens with these Sony TVs. So I think that's one of the biggest difference. But overall, the image quality that you're going to get out of it, virtually identical. Very difficult, especially after calibration, to notice any real difference at all. Except for some little things like the animation picture modes, and like a bunch of other little picture modes that you get on the A8G, along with 24p synchronization. So hope that helped. Have you tried Mortal Kombat 11 yet? Yes, I have answered that one. Best color range and temperature for Samsung TVs, I have the NU6950. Best color temperature is about warm 1. I think that's usually the best one. It'll give you all the shades you need without going too far. Though if you like the absolute, like just most accurate, you're going to have to get it calibrated, because warm 2 would be the better one. I see a lot of people using warm. I say warm or standard or whatever it is. I use warm 1 when I just want to kind of do a general, like everyday kind of usage. But typically warm 2 being calibrated is ideal. Mr. 67, you said happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, man. You said, I know your feelings about HDR and Dolby Vision, but do you have any recommendations on 4K Blu-ray players? If you have one, what do you use? I use the Xbox One X and Xbox One S literally primarily. I don't invest into 4K players. I don't think they're worth what they're charging for these things. That being said, I know Panasonic does make the technical best Blu-ray player on the market. It went down in price, I believe, so you can pick it up like for either $4.99 or $3.99 right now. I believe it's $3.99 because it was at $4.99, so you can do that on Amazon. But typically speaking, I don't spend a whole lot in these kinds of things, man. All right, so Capcom fan 82, what's up, man? You said Black Friday is pretty weak this year for TVs, in my opinion. Yeah, Black Friday in general is just kind of like their way of clearing out inventory. It's not really a deal for you, you know.
We need your help, Pamela.
We've got
Needs it more.
Cole. What's going on? You said hopefully down the line, hopefully down the line, a cool side-by-side between the A8G and the C9 would be awesome. I mean, probably not going to happen, to be realistic, only because these things are just so ridiculously expensive, and I'm not sponsored with like an endless supply of TVs, so probably wouldn't be able to do that. What's going on? Karavis? I hope Travis. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, man. You said A8G versus H9F versus Q8FN. If I had to pick a winner, I would still go with the H9F. That is like my favorite TV. I really love what they did with it. That being said, after that, I would go with the A8G, then the Q8FN. Reason being is because the depth coming out of the A8G is pretty fantastic, and the Q8FN is not keeping up with it like all that. It is better for vibrancy, but depth, no way. Especially in like underwater scenes in movies and like really dark scenes, like, or even like, I don't know how to explain it, like scenes where there's just a lot of black to it, but there's also decent brightness. Those scenes look really good on the A8G. Have you ever sold a broken TV before? No, that's called fraud. I would never do anything like that, no. Jake, what's going on? You said, my internet went out before I heard your answer. I ordered a 65-inch Vizio P-Series Quantum for $900, but after watching your review, I wonder if I made a mistake. Use it for gaming and movies. I mean, for $900 for a 65-inch Vizio P-Series Quantum 2019, I would say yes, that is a mistake, because for $799 right now, you can buy yourself a Hisense H9F, which is quite literally, in every aspect of the word, a better TV. You're talking brightness, color, black level control as far as like when the scenes are normal. Now, that being said, the Vizio P-Series Quantum does a better job for logos and blooming and giving you black levels in that regard, but the viewing angles on it are so bad, like move off axis like just a little bit and it starts to get cloudy. So it's kind of like you're better off with the H9F. If especially using it for movies and gaming, I would just not even bother with the 2019 P-Series Quantum for that. I would just go with the H9F, to be honest with you, because motion issues are real on that TV. In a midnight or in a mid-light living room. Yeah, still the same thing though with that. The Weird Vision Guy, what's up? You said, hi Q, just found your channel the other day, loving your stuff so far. I appreciate it, glad you love it. You said, would you say that the X950G is good for standard viewing for a few movies? One surprised my parents. I would say it's good if you can accept the black level issues where it's gray black, but overall TV is pretty darn impressive. Yeah, blew my mind when I played Injustice on it. I mean, really, go watch the video on my second channel of the X950G where I'm just playing through it. I mean, really, it really blew my mind to the point where I was actually about to keep it because I was willing to accept the black level flaws with it. What ended up being the ultimate deal breaker for me though is when I went into YouTube and then it started overcropping things and like doing weird things internally, and then I had this problem where, again, I don't know, man, when it got to the motion, it just wasn't as smooth as it should have been, especially coming from the 900E, and then putting it up against my 900E, seeing that beat it, it was all game over at that point for me from there. But generally speaking, it is an impressive TV. What's going on, Catch? You said, Q, which TV should I buy, Q9FN or the A8G? The A8G hands down. Q9FN has significantly worse color than the A8G, especially for memory. Pyro 1997 when I went to Best Buy last night, an employee tested Smash Brothers Ultimate on a 75-inch Q80R and an LG 77-inch C9. That's pretty cool. That's a unique test to do at a Best Buy. Harry, what's going on? You said, hey, great channel. I appreciate it. And you go on to say,
I'm one you'll never catch.
wait a minute, my chat here is lagging for some reason. Hold on, I gotta get your question back, because when it lags, it just goes all the way up to the top again, and I don't have a way of seeing your comment now. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, you said a great channel, appreciate your insight. I'm looking for an 82-inch, can't find the Q8FN, or rather the Q8F and the can't find the Q8FN. Are the Q70 and Q80 worth it at Black Friday prices? Not really. They're going to depreciate even more as time goes on, and you're best waiting, if you can, until, like, I would say even like next year, late February, early March to mid-March, because they will go on super clearance sale, and those things will be like next to nothing compared to what they are now. I mean, you're talking a 65-inch Q80R going for $16.99. That's a total ripoff, man. That TV right there will easily drop down to like $13.99. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that tier. You know what I mean? Like $14.99, $13.99. That's the price you could pay for it. But it just depends. And again, 82 inches. I mean, you probably already know how I feel about that. Not an ideal size for 4K resolution. I got sipped on my lunch. I don't know what I got sipped on my lunch means. We've got David Checker. What's up? You said thanks, man. So 3 minutes. I think I answered that. Yeah. I guess it's just showing me questions I already answered. Strange. What's going on, Felix? Thanks for being a VIP member of the channel. You said, hey, love the channel. You wouldn't have any settings for the Hisense H8F. Unfortunately, I don't have anything for the H8F. You said, I've tried the settings for the H9F, but I had to turn the backlight down to 70, got headaches any higher. A neat little technique you can try to use is turning on, what is it again? It's like, I forget the exact setting. It's like the secondary sensor, it's like a light managing, what is it? I'm trying to remember what it is on the Hisense. Below backlight, like, you know how you have to disable something in order to access the backlight? I forget the name of it, but that feature where the backlight goes up to 20, you could play around with that, and I think that'll give you a little bit better result as well if you find yourself in a darker room having problems. What I used to like to do is toggling between setting the one that goes up to 20 on backlight. I loved setting that up for a dark room and then turning it off and then getting access to the brighter room whenever I needed it. Brighter room settings whenever I needed it. So that's a little technique and trick that I used to use that maybe that might help out a little bit, man. David, what's going on, man? You said had to sneak into a conference room at work to say what's up to Mr. Q Tell the Truth, aka QA. I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it. Sneaking around the workplace just to say what's up to little old me. I really do appreciate it. Do you like the X950G? I don't like the X950G. I think what Sony did was disrespectful. I feel like they could have gone about it differently for sure. Is it worth buying a Sony X930 E65-inch? Yeah, if you can find one, definitely. Great TVs. Hey there, can you tell me about the Samsung Q80R dark scene performance? It does pretty good in dark scenes. Samsung has a really aggressive local dimming algorithm, so if you run into subtitles in movies, it's just going to dim all that stuff down typically, and you won't run into the nasty clouding, though in really, really dark scenes like, just for reference, whether you know it or not, Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows, that movie is just going to be really, really, really dark. And some things like the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it's a video game, it has a problem like in the opening scene of Shadow of the Tomb Raider where she's crawling up the little, I guess, mountain where or not mountain, but like little crawl space, I guess, where the rock has her pinned down. You're going to notice a lot of highlights that will kind of get a little dodgy. You might see some uniformity issues, but typically black levels are decent on the Q90 or Q80R rather. We've got Zach. What's going on? You said best TV under $500. You're going to be stuck with the H8F and the Vizio M series Quantum from 2019. Not a problem. You said thank you there. You said Amir. I think it's Amir. What's going on? You said which TV or which has the least blooming for dark room? The least blooming and best for a dark room. I mean, typically speaking, OLED would probably be better for a dark room. But if you're talking about an LED TV, then you're probably looking at the Samsung line of things, because those things are usually what ends up happening. Shout out to Sneaker Tech TV for your donation of $9.99. It really does help out the channel. You said happy holidays to everyone in the chat room. I continue to come back to the channel for more great advice more great advice, and he has no filter, lol. Got the Sony TVs you today. I got the same Sony TV as you today at Best Buy now. I appreciate it, man, most definitely, and thank you for donating to the channel as well. It really does go a long way in helping us out. Truly, I do say thank you for that, man. We've got Sneaker Tech TV. You said, yo, I'm back. What's up, man? We've got Soulborn44. You said, I apologize. Yes, Warm 2 is good looking, or is a good look. You still didn't answer best range from 25 to, I got you. Best color range on a Samsung TV. I would say you're pretty good from, I say 31. It really depends on the TV, because like the Q9FM is different from the Q8FM, but typically you're good from like 31 all the way up to like 35. That's usually like more on the accurate side of things. A good way to get the best and like kind of test it for yourself is get a picture of like usually flowers or something, right? Or like what I like to do is I like to use like weird things like a smiley face, right? Where there is like a red tongue visible or a pink tongue visible, bleeding into like a red tongue or something like that, or like flowers to make sure the petals aren't bleeding into one another or something like that. Check for color bleeding, which is just basically the color looks like one flat image and you don't have any detail. Just dial it back until you find that detail, but typically the 30s like to mid 30s are usually where you want to stop. You never really want to go too much higher than that unless you're trying something really ambitious. What's going on, Zach T? You said what would be the best budget TV for around $400? I got the Sony X900E, but my friend is curious. Vizio M series or H8F, those are going to be the best TVs at that price range. Vizio slight edge towards the Vizio because of the quantum dot color. What's going on, Michael? You said what's up? Should you get any TV over 55-inch calibrated? I think any TV, regardless of size, could definitely benefit from a calibration for sure. Eminem says, how's the H9F on upscaling cable? Trash, in my opinion. I don't think it does a great job of upscaling older content at all, and that's one of the biggest weaknesses with that TV. Soulborn44, color space, auto, or native for most accurate colors for gaming on Samsung TVs. Again, I'd say native. Anytime you start going into the auto color space, it's just going to default to the Rec 709. Problem is, the Rec 709 by default tends to run more yellowish in nature and also tends to display more of a green hue to things. That leads to wildly inaccurate colors like red and yellow particularly that look really bad. And then even blues can look pale with a little bit of a like hue or different tint to it. Native kind of restores a lot of that, but it does tend to over exaggerate some colors, so you might have to choose. It's like a trade-off game with Samsung, but ultimately for all Samsung TVs with the feature, I always use native because they even tie certain features to it, like smoothing out some of the gradations and things like that as well. So it really does depend on you as a person, but I would say native all the time. Goat City, what's up? You said, do you have any experience using up? I answered that one already. I guess it's really just showing me a bunch of older stuff here. We've got Donald, what's up? You said, how can I change back to BT18 from S20 on Samsung and you just turn off HDR, man. It's in your source box. So let's say you're gaming on Xbox or you're watching a Blu-ray movie on a dedicated Blu-ray device or whatever it is. Just go into that device and disable HDR, and that'll take you back to the BT 1886, and that'll give you what you're looking for, which is the SDR color space. What's going on? Saucebite, you said, can't believe I got the Vizio P series Quantum, man. Just can't seem to lock in a setting. Yeah, that TV is a piece of work. I see what you mean there. I know what you mean. It is rough. Will D, you said, my 65-inch Hisense H9F is being delivered on Friday. I'm pumped, man. Your videos have been very helpful in deciding on a TV. Well, I'm glad I was able to help you out, man. That is ultimately the goal. And I'm telling you, man, you're going to see the Hisense H9F and you're going to be like I was. You're going to be like, all right, it's just a budget brand. It really can't be that good. And then you're going to look at it and you're like, whoa. Now, wait a minute. Now, hold on there. And it's just going to get better from there. Like, and it was crazy for me, like, just experiencing that TV. I actually still really, really miss that TV. Even though I have an OLED, there's still something very special about the Hisense. And that's just as real as it gets, man. What's going on, Eminem? You said, so does the X950G have motion problems like the A8G? In essence, yes, but not as bad. So I ran into a problem watching Avengers Infinity Wars, and it was the scene where they're at Wakanda and they're doing this giant epic fight scene, right? And they're running towards each other, and as the characters are running, there is so much motion blur and artifacting, and the TV looked like trash. And basically from that point forward, I started looking at like fight scenes in movies and like comparing that kind of stuff, and that's real bad. Like when things are moving really fast like that and you got to keep up with character motions like flailing arms and limbs, like it gets bad and really junky. And honestly, I would say, yeah, the motion issue is a little bit more exaggerated in some areas in the AAG, because the AAG has an instant response time of the pixels because it's OLED, so that kind of saves it a little bit. But yeah, it definitely does have a little bit of a motion problem for sure. Anthony, what's going on? You said, hey Q, what would you recommend between the LG C9 and AAG? I would recommend the LG C9 if you're doing competitive gaming. That's pretty much it. That would be my number one recommendation for that as far as OLED. But for everything else, the AAG, because Sony's colors on an entirely different playing field. I mean, it literally, watch my video going up against the Q8FN, it looks like a Quantum.TV with the color, which is unreal that a WRGB OLED can compete with the true RGB LED QLED. Like it's insane. Like seriously, couldn't say enough about it. That would be my recommendation, as I personally bought the AAG for that reason. What's going on, Soulborn44? I play on standard PS4, meaning 1080p on my Samsung. What do you recommend for the best picture settings? I don't understand, like the best PlayStation picture settings or the best picture settings for your Samsung TV. What's going on, Stinja? What's up? You said LG C9 65-inch is 1600 now, and you said I want one just to have OLED. Just to have it. OLEDs really have come down since last year. Yeah, I didn't even know the C9 was the 65-inch was $1,600 right now. When did that happen? Is it something that just like, I don't know, just happened? I don't know. It's pretty cool though. What's going on, Crash? You said I really want a high-end Sony remote. I will contact Sony customer service to see if I'll have any luck. Sony doesn't sell parts typically, but good luck with that, man. Like it's definitely hard. I got my high-end remote by chance, like pure chance. Had a customer that had an extra one, and he was like, yeah man, you know, you do great work, I love what you do, here you go bro, like cool, I don't even need it, you know what I mean? So I was like all right, I'm cool with that, you know. But ultimately speaking, you're gonna kind of get stuck with the crappy remotes from Sony, and that really does bite. What's going on, Soulborn44? You said, I noticed if I add any type of sharpness, it destroys my image, adding unwanted artifacts. If you're noticing any kind of artifacting issues or something like that, best thing to do is just to tone it down a little bit. That'd be the best thing to do. And it's a Samsung TV. Yeah, Samsung TVs are generally pretty bad with sharpness. Even on my Q8FN, I got as far as turning the sharpness down to 3 and 4. Depending on what I'm watching, because it does get a bit much sometimes, so I know how you mean that. What's going on, Brandon Lee? What's up, Quantum? Sorry for not being around lately. Keep up the good work. It's cool, man. You don't owe me anything, and nothing to apologize for. But nevertheless, thank you for stopping by, and again, just being a part of the channel, man. I appreciate it. Joel, what's up? You said LG E8 versus 65-inch Q8 CN. For darkroom, which one is better? The LG E8. The Q8 CN, as far as I'm understanding it, is I guess a curved version of the Q7 FN, which I don't know why they made it like that, but that's what I am remembering here. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the Q8 FN is just the full array version, the better version. But anything C with Samsung TVs typically mean curved, and I don't really like that either. And the LG E8 is definitely a good TV. What's going on, Zach? You said, should I use auto wide or extended for the color space on my C8? What I use is, I think it was, what was it? I used the highest one that they had. I don't use auto wide. I use extended. I'm trying to remember, like, out of all of these options. At least I believe that's what I use. I'm pretty sure it's extended. It's been a while. I haven't actually calibrated an LG in a while. But yeah, that's typically what I use. I use the most aggressive one, because if I know for a fact auto is just that ugly like Rec 709 stuff, and like even though they give you wide and extended, it still isn't giving you access to a specific color space, which really does limit that TV. What's going on, Snap Doctor? You said, oh, and keep up the good work and honesty. I appreciate that, and most certainly will do. Jason, what's going on? You said looking for a 40 to 43 inch 4K TV. I would recommend the Vizio M Series Quantum. That's about the best thing you're gonna find there. Zero Flux, you said, yo, what's going on? Yo, how's it going? I got the H9F from your recommendations, and I love it. My first dive into the 4K realm. Love your content. Keep it coming, bro. Most definitely, and I appreciate that, man. We got Soulborn44. In your eyes, what color range from 25 with Warm 2 on a Samsung is overdoing the color? Meaning destroying detail and oversaturation. Honestly, I think that starts happening past 38. I mean, and even 38 can be really aggressive, and in a lot of cases even 37. So I really would say you should cut it at 36 max for most people. Though for me, I'm okay with oversaturating my image a little bit to achieve a little bit more out of the punch that I can get out of some movies and things. So it just depends on how I'm using it, because like I can make a separate calibration for movies, knowing that most of the movies I watch have what they call the artistic style, where they wash everything out thinking it's artistic. I hate that, so I pump the saturation up a bit. But that does change from like different kinds of content, because then you could take those same movie settings with juiced up color that you'd use for like, you know, anime movies and like general movies, and then play a video game and it's completely oversaturated. You know what I mean? So it really does depend. What's going on, Taylor? You said, hi, since H9F is sold out at Best Buy, do I continue to wait? You could just get it on Amazon. I wouldn't wait on Best Buy. You said, I watch sports and game and I need a budget option. Is there an alternative you would recommend with 120 hertz with low input lag and good motion? There is none other than the H9F. That is the best. And to recommend anything else just simply because one was sold out is doing you a giant disservice, and I wouldn't do that to you. So that's going to be what I would recommend. With that, I want to ask you guys if you guys have any more additional questions. I know we've been kind of live streaming here for a little bit, but essentially I'm probably going to do another one of these probably tomorrow as we get closer, just to cover the people that we didn't get, and I'll probably do it at night or whatever the case may be. But we've got Francis, you're saying H9F or Q80R. Money is no issue. I would go with the H9F because it is genuinely the better TV. We've got Joel, who said, thanks for your feedback. Would you recommend a LG B9 over LG E8? No, the E8 is significantly better in a lot of areas, particularly the color department. We've got Taylor, you said, thanks for, I'm sorry, you said, thanks Q, you're the man. I appreciate it. Just trying to do my part to help out here. What's going on, Soul Reborn 44? I do definitely notice having color space on native easily oversaturates the color. I don't know, man. LOL is complicated. It is complicated. It's one of those things where I know like Samsung changes a lot of things beyond like each unit. So it's like I could tell you one thing that worked for my Q8FN, but you try it on like an RU series television or an NU series television, and that ain't it, because you know, different settings than that, you know, and the way they went about the TV. So I definitely get it. We've got Crash saying, I remember you saying that any Sony TV that is not manufactured in Mexico is not a UC2. Mine is made in Malaysia, and the settings say it's a UC2. I live in the Middle East. I don't know, maybe Sony saw the TV and saw that video and decided to just make me wrong just to play with me. I don't know, but I can tell you that typically speaking, that is how it usually works. And I know a lot of people that did not buy the UC2 variants were missing a load of features. So, you know, that's just, you know, food for thought there. But if you got a UC2, you're good, man. There's nothing to worry about there. How is HDR on the A8G? I don't like it at all. I think HDR is nowhere near what it was on LG at all. I feel like LG definitely is leading the pack because they are brighter and they're doing a lot more for color. And Sony's color, for whatever reason, in HDR, no matter how great it is in SDR, it's just still too washed out for me, where LG does not suffer from that problem at all. And that's one of the downsides to the Sony A8G. So my best friend is so my best bet is having Warm 2, color range 31, native color space for gaming. I would imagine so. Again, it's hard to see that that without knowing too much about your specifics. John, what's going on? You said best 40 to 43 inch, also 50 inch TV. You're still stuck with the Vizio M series Quantum. They don't make really good TVs at that size, to be very honest with you. The options are very limited. Everything is either edge-lit, really no quantum dot support. I mean, the options are really bad, so sadly I don't have too much to tell you there. With that being said, I will be doing another one of these videos probably tomorrow to just try to cover more ground and help anyone else that didn't get the help if you guys need it. I'll probably poll before that point, but essentially pretty much as far as we can go as far as this. But I want to try to update you guys as far as like Black Friday and things like that. So I mean, I'll just do like a general search here while I'm in the stream, so that before I end it I can give you guys kind of like information you're looking for. I know I was just asked about 43-inch televisions, and I mean, really, they're gonna go. I see right now they have like a Q60R for like $400. I wouldn't pay that for it at all. They got the 49-inch X900F, but again, local dimming is a problem. You know, you're gonna have gray blacks. If you're okay with that, though, I mean, the X900F is not a bad choice, especially retailing right now for like $798. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. I see LG has like their UM7300. That's trash. Spectre TV. That's trash. Toshiba, trash. Sony X800G, total trash. I mean, like, it's just not good. Like, what do we have here? You have the NU6900. I wouldn't recommend that either. Like, 6 Series Samsung TV is not the best. Insignia TV, trash. TCL's S325, trash. Like, I mean, like, literally, like, this year is horrible. Like, TCL 5 Series, trash. Like, Vizio E Series, not the best. Definitely leaning towards the trash specter. Hisense RE7, I'm sorry, R7E, trash. Like, the 43-inch bracket, really, really bad, man. I can't say that enough. Like, your best bet is going with Vizio for that. So, let's go over to the 50-inch size, and we're gonna get the options there. Alright, so, again, more on Toshiba, trash. TCL 425, trash. The RU7100, trash. You don't want anything without quantum dots. We've got the TCL S3220 or S3225 or 325, whatever it is, S325. That's trash. Spectre, garbage. Insignia, garbage. Summec, I don't even know who Summec is. Never heard of them. We've got again, more Samsungs. We got the RU8000. That's trash. You don't want anything, again, without quantum dot, and it's edge-lit. Not good. We've got, let's see. Let's try to see if we can find a different tier, because it's showing a lot of the same stuff. Let's see. We've got... What else do we have? I mean, there's really not much in the way of options this year, is there? They've got the Vizio M Series Quantum 50-inch, but the red version on Amazon. I mean, if you like red, I guess you can get around that, but I would just go with the regular one, because that sounds like the best deal. The LG SM8600, total trash. I mean, really, if you love like the worst blacks on a TV, go with NanoCell. Seriously, it gets terrible. Hisense H8F, it's a decent option, but I still put the Vizio above it. We've got the Vizio V Series, trash, wouldn't recommend it. We've got, what else do we have here? That's about it, right? No, we've got, let's see, anything else in the 50-inch size? Westinghouse, trash. Element, trash. ROC, trash. What else do we have here? I mean, really, like, everybody is just making really crappy TVs at these smaller sizes. You've got the 49-inch Q70R, trash. I would not pay $70 for that, or not $70, $797 for that. I really wouldn't recommend it, especially because it's a bit of a downgrade, man. Like, from last year, for that, you might as well buy the 49-inch Q7FN, like, because that would probably be a better deal if you could find it. Though I will say, to be fair, for 49 inches, they do have local dimming. They do dim text down, but it's an ugly TV. It just does not look good. And Vizio, at their M series level, does look better than that. So that's just that. All right, so let's go to the 55-inch class, because I don't think we're going to find too much luck here.
One cat
To which we have, again, more of the same garbage TCL TVs. We've got the UN 55-inch RU 7100 trash, the Q60R trash. We've got the 850G, not the 850G, the 800G garbage. Don't buy that. That's not good. Let's see. The TCL 6 series, total trash. If you love motion issues, pick that TV up. It will just blow your mind with how many motion problems you'll run into. Despite what some other people are saying out there, it is not the best. RU8000, you guys already know what I just said about that. The 7300, trash, don't buy that. Again, edgelit, don't want that. Q80R, it's a good TV, but it's hella expensive for 55 inches. But I mean, $12.97 is about as good as it's probably going to get for a while. I don't really see this TV going too far down past that, so I'd say, yeah, that's decent. You can get that one. That's not bad. Let's go Sony X950G. It's not a bad buy if you are okay with gray blacks, because the upscaling chip is the best on the market, and right now it's going for $998. So I mean, it's reasonable. We've got what else do we have? We have the Sony A8G for $14.98. It's not a bad deal. I mean, I would do it if I needed a 55-inch and didn't necessarily have room for 65. I didn't want to because I didn't have to. The 55 is more than good enough, and at that price, it's not bad at all. We've got the Q900R. I wouldn't recommend that at all. There's no 8K content, waste of money. We've got LG SM8100 nanocell trash, don't do it. LG C9, I would recommend it for gamers. I mean, I don't think that's a bad price at all, but again, $14.96 is a little high for that. I think it would definitely come down price as time goes on. Q70R, we've got $9.97. That's not terrible, but again, I don't recommend the TV itself. I think it's terrible. The LG B8 going for $11.89. I think that's a solid deal, about as good as you're going to find on an OLED. Might as well do that. TCL R617 for $5.29. Trash, has horrible motion issues. What's the next page here? We have I even see what is this? A Samsung Q6FN 55-inch for $886. That's not a bad deal at all. We've got the A9G going 55-inch going for $24.98. That's overpriced. I wouldn't pay that. We've got the Frame TV 49-inch going for $897. Still couldn't justify it, not for that price. We've got and be very careful, guys, because you'll see some renewed TVs as well on Amazon. So just be careful, because I see like a renewed C9 for $11.38. Don't buy that. Renewed TVs don't come with warranties. We've got the LG E8 55-inch going for $13.48. It's a pretty decent deal. Especially for a TV like that, of that tier, the E8, you kidding me? Buy it before it runs out. Like, seriously, rush to go do that, because the 2019 TVs are not that much better. What's going on with the UK 7700 from LG? Garbage. We don't want that. They got, is this renewed or is this like brand new? No, this is brand new. That's not a bad deal. The LG C8 going for $1247.99. It's not a bad deal, but let's see who that seller is. The seller is Vans. So yeah, it's a reputable seller. They just take forever to ship out, but it's a reputable seller. I bought from them. I believe bought my Q8FN from them, and I had no problems with the way they shipped or anything, so you'll be fine with them. The NU8000, if you can still find it, I would say pass on. And there's not really a whole lot else, is there? I guess we can kind of move on to the next thing. You got the Sony X850G, trash, pass on that. That is going to be a blooming, clouding mess. You don't want anything to do with that. What else do we have here? The A8F, pass on that. just go for the better model, the A8G. That has a dimming problem. And I think I kind of covered all the things you'd run into. Pretty sure. I mean, you'll run into a B9. I guess. I mean, I don't really recommend the B9 typically. And the Q7FN, can't find that. That's sold out. Alright, so let's try to move to the next tier here. Right? Oh, yes. The 65-inch. So we're going to go 65. And we're going to look at what we have here. So essentially everything I said was trash up until this point. Still trash. Don't recommend it, right? I don't want to repeat the same thing like 1,000,001 times. That'd probably get pretty tedious for a lot of you guys here. So essentially no nanocell. TCL 6 series, even at the 65-inch, still trash. You got the Hisense H8F. I mean, for $599, just buy a 55-inch H9F. It's the dramatically better TV. You have the what is it? The Samsung Q90R, trash. Just buy the Q80R. It's basically the same thing, just a little less bright. Literally, you have like all the same features, minus like the one Connect box. Seriously, like they did nothing. We've got, what else do we have in the TV world here that we can buy? Q70R, still trash. A8G 65-inch, yeah, it's a pass. I'd get it. You got the X950G. I'd still say that, you know, again, it's a good TV if you can accept the black level issues, but yeah, I'd go ahead and give it a pass on that one. Vizio M series. I don't know why they're showing me a 55-inch. I said 65, but okay. The LG C9 for basically $2,100. That's a hard pass. It's not worth that. It's not worth that at all. We've got the Sony A9G for $3,400. That's, again, a hard pass. Not worth that at all. We've got the 65-inch Q8, or rather Q7FN for $1,089. Pick that up while you still can. That is an awesome, awesome deal. We go in and check the seller. The seller is shipped and sold by Amazon for that price. I mean, guys, run and do that right now if you haven't already. That's a good deal. Even with it being edge-led, it still is a really, really good TV for that price point and size. Let's see what we got here. We've got the LG B8 2018 model going for $1,599. That's being sold by AAA Universe, but I've never bought anything from them, so I can't speak positively or negatively about that. Again, Q90R is a hard pass, and I think that about sums it up. I think everybody in general kind of gets it. I mean, it's about all the same. So let's see, going back over into the chat here. I have no idea how many other questions I've gotten after that, but I hope that cleared up a lot, just going through what I can see on sale right now, at least as far as Amazon's concerned. I see Zod, you're asking H9F or X950G H9F. The Samsung KU6290 is the best, as long as you think so. We've got, I'm getting a gaming monitor soon, but I'm concerned it's going to be 8-bit. It's going to be really trash. I would say the only monitor that I would really mess with, period, would be anything with quantum dots, but kind of leaves you with Samsung QLED. That's just me, though. What's your favorite TV at the moment? It would be the Hisense H9F, followed by the A8G, then the Q8FN, then the Sony X900E. And then a room could be made, obviously, for my KS8000, because I do like that TV a lot. What's up with the next comment here? He says, I got sharpness on 575-inch. I got sharpness on 5 and a 75-inch, and you're saying, yeah, okay, so we have a high, watch lots of 4K movies, A8G or LG C9. I would say A8G hands down. The movies are going to transcend anything LG is able to do with Sony's processing. And best sharpness is at 3. This is my very last question. I would say, yeah, that's where I put my sharpness. We've got hey Q, H9F or Q80R, money's no issue. Okay, I answered that question. All right, and I think I was fairly thorough in this particular live stream, covering like as much ground as I could. I hope you guys found this very helpful. We're going on almost an hour, almost 2 hours here, but you know, at least the information is there. I don't know who's going to go through this entire video. I would highly suggest skimming around if they didn't already, right? But either way, you know, it is what it is. So that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching the #1 brand in honesty. You're very welcome, Crash. I appreciate all of you guys coming out. If you guys need help, please reach out to me. I know Black Friday's around the corner. If you got a last minute bind where something just went on super sale, just even over the course of like the next hour or two, as again I end this live stream, I know things can again change in price, right? Black Friday is literally happening this Friday, so I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. So with that being said, I'll try to post as many deals as I can see in the community tab to keep you updated, keep you posted, but that's pretty much the extent of what I can do for right now. If necessary, I will do another live stream tomorrow, again helping with Black Friday questions, but I think this should be it. I think this is pretty much where the prices are going to stay until Friday. That being said, I want to thank you guys for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next live stream, I will see you guys later.